Hello, this is Hazel Jane. Welcome back to my channel, and this video today is going to be something a little bit different. Normally I'm talking tarot, but today I'm going to show you my crystal collection. So I would not call myself a crystals expert by any means. I love crystals, and I have been working with them in different ways, bit by bit, over the last few years. What I tend to find is that I get a crystal and then I tend to work out what I can use it for rather than looking for a crystal to use for something in particular, if you know what I mean. And so I have accumulated a few, some that I use a lot and some that I haven't really used very much. I'm going to basically just show you show them because they're pretty. This isn't really designed to be a lesson in how to use crystals or anything like that, but just a kind of a walkthrough of my crystal collection. So I keep most of my small pieces in this box. I originally bought this online off Amazon to hold essential oil bottles, and then when I got it I found it was too shallow and the lid wouldn't close. So this is where I keep my smaller crystals. And when I get a new stone, I just have this little notebook that I've kind of put away. I could probably do something nicer with this now, but this is just the little notebook where I keep a record of my crystals. And so when I get a new one, you can see I list them there. They're not in any kind of alphabetical order or anything. They're just written in the order that I bought them, so make a little contents. And then on the page where maybe I'll put in the new stone, where I got it. Sometimes I write how much I paid for it. I'll draw like a little picture of it really roughly. And then I'll look it up in books, or if there was like a little, sometimes when you go to a crystal shop or a market stall, they'll give you a bit of paper with some stuff about the stone on it. So I'll just glue that in as well. So I would do that for each of the stones that I've got. And then on the facing page, I'll write down if I've used it, what I used it for, to try to keep some sort of a record of whether they were effective or not. These are the reference books I have for crystals. I have the Crystal Healer, volume 1 and 2, which is a really nice reference book, and has really been great for my purposes anyway so far. So a lot of the notes in my little notebook have come from those books, which are by Philip Permott. So anyway, let's get on to the shiny crystals. So I think I'll take these roughly just in the order that they're in my little book. So that's my carnelian. This was not the first stone I bought, although it seems to be the first one in my little book. The first stone I ever bought was this one. This is chrysocolla. I remember very clearly this was £10, which wasn't the cheapest thing to be buying, just my very first stone. But I just fell in love with it because it's, if you look at the colours, it's like a coral reef. It's the colours of it. So anyway, so this was my very first stone, chrysocolla. And as I say, I'm not really planning to go through the uses of the stones today, because I'm not really wanting this to be a sort of a teaching video. So that's my only piece of clear quartz. I should probably could get some more clear quartz. And this piece of rose quartz, this has done heavy work. This at the moment is sitting on my altar space. It is a really nice pink, but maybe the color of my hand is too similar, so the camera's not really picking it up. I have one other piece of rose quartz, and that's this big hunk of stuff here. This sits in my bedroom. This, funny, like just different crystals and the costs. These cost about the same amount of money. So obviously rose quartz is much more plentiful and easy to get than the chrysocolla. But yes, so That's my rose quartz. Then I have this little piece of black obsidian that just has this little speck. I don't think I've ever used that for anything yet. So, poor little neglected piece of obsidian. Then I have back here is a piece of sunstone. So I've sometimes used this with the Sun tarot card if I've been wanting to invoke that type of energy. So then I have a bunch of calcite. Calcite is one of my favorites. So I think this was sold as yellow calcite. It is very orangey yellow, although coming across more vividly so in the video than in reality. Calcite has a lovely waxy sheen to it, which I love. So that's my yellow or orange calcite. Then I have this blue, beautiful piece of blue calcite, which is the notebook page that I showed you at the start. It's like a beautiful iceberg. So I very often have this because blue, with the association with the throat chakra, you know, blue associated with good communication. So I very often have this around. I have 2 pieces of green calcite. I think the last time I was at a market stall, you know, that was selling crystals, I saw this and I thought, ooh, I don't have any green calcite. And I bought this and I got home and found that I had this. So yes, I do have 2 pieces of slightly different shades of green calcite. And then this rather lovely piece of honey calcite. So that's all the calcite. Then this is my amethyst. This was one of the more expensive ones that I've bought. As none of these are really expensive stones. I don't think I've ever gone. I think this was about. Oh, the price is still on it. €18.95. So, but this is a beautiful one. I couldn't pass that in the shop. So that's the only piece of amethyst that I have. I have this little piece of malachite. Now it's a tumbled malachite. I think you're supposed to use those rather than the rough ones, because this is one of the ones that's maybe in a powdery state, not the safest. And unfortunately this has a little chip out of it. But this malachite's the midwife stone. And yes, I did have this with me when I was in labour with my baby. So that's kind of a special little stone, that malachite. Then I have listed in my book that I have a piece of yellow jasper, but I don't have it anymore because I gave it to a friend who called her little boy Jasper. So that's gone. And I had a piece of red jasper, but I gave it away too. So I don't seem to be able to hold on to jasper for some reason. I have 2 pieces of aventurine and they look completely different. And I wouldn't know that they were the same stone, except that's what they told me they were in the shop. So that's the green aventurine, and there's like almost like a little goldy fleck through it, which is really lovely. And then that's aventurine as well, but in a rough state. This is I think the most expensive crystal that I have. This is my smoky quartz pillar. I remember the day that I bought this. I couldn't put it down once I'd lifted it. I really just loved the feel of it. It looks quite clear in the video, but it's got a darker smokier color in reality than it's coming across in the video. But I love the swirls, the little storms happening inside it. So yes, that's my smoky quartz, and I would have that around quite a lot as well. As you know, a very grounding stone. By massive contrast, this is the only piece of selenite I have. It's just a small, it's like a finger-sized piece. The day that I bought that piece of that smoky quartz pillar, I had been handling some selenite in the shop, and selenite has a very high vibe and doesn't sit terribly comfortably with me. And I didn't buy any selenite that particular day. But yes, after I'd been handling the selenite, the smoky quartz, the smoky quartz was the one that came home with me. Another piece that I have, and this is actually a replacement, is my Shungite. So I had another piece of Shungite that I actually lost. So this is the Shungite sphere that I bought. And we get a kind of a market at Christmas that sells crystals. So that tends to be where when I stock up and get a few more stones. But I had a piece of Shungite before. Shungite is from a meteor, so it's an incredibly old, and it's supposed to have properties of holding kind of radiation from things like cell phones, Wi-Fi modem, routers and laptops and all that kind of thing. So I had a piece before that was being used, I think, in my handbag, and a piece was near my router in the house, and both have been completely lost. So I replaced it with this lovely little Shungite sphere last year from the Christmas market. So it sits on that little stand. So hopefully I won't lose that one. I have this piece of tiger's eye, and that is not my only tiger's eye, because I recently, if you follow my Instagram, you might have seen this. I recently treated myself to a tiger's eye pendant. So if you see there, get the camera to focus on it, sorry. So this is a little tiger's eye pendant, and it was made by a company called Parkley and Rocks. If you follow them on Facebook, or I'll try to link the Etsy shop below, because it has a different name. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they do the wire wrapping around the stones to create the jewelry. So oh, sorry, just knocked over my camera. I find tiger's eye a really good stone to help me with focus and concentration. So I thought it would, when I saw the pendant, I thought that would be a really nice stone to have as jewelry. And the company that creates these is quite local to me here in Northern Ireland, so it's nice to support a local company as well. So I'll put the details for them down below if anybody's interested in checking out their Etsy shop. Okay, what else have I got in here? My labradorite. Oh, I love the blue sheen, the kind of petrol-y sheen of labradorite. I would love an enormous piece of labradorite the size of my palm, but it's very expensive in big pieces. Oh, look at that, isn't that gorgeous? So yes, that is my one piece of labradorite. Then I have this little piece of angelite. It's a lovely pale blue colour. This is the lepidolite. Oh, we're not focusing. It looks very pale against the colour of my hand. It's kind of a purpley sheen to it. Then I have this piece of apatite. It's like an egg, really. It's got this lovely turquoise, jadey, coloration to it. It's lovely. I had another small piece of apatite that I've lost somewhere along the way. Then this banded aragonite. That was a gift from a friend. Then I have this little fluorite pillar. It's lovely. I don't know how best to let you see the colours, if my hand is helping or hindering. It's got lovely purples and greens through it. It's not in focus. Come on. Okay, so that's a little fluorite pillar. It's about the size of a finger, a bit bigger as well. And then I have this is chrysoprase, which funnily enough is a stone that my little girl, she's just a little toddler, she has adopted this. I let her look at the stone sometimes, and this was the one she wanted. So this has been in her bedroom for a while. I've just stole it back to show you today. Then I have 2 pieces of amazonite, and again, like the aventurine, they're totally different. And if I hadn't been told that they were the same stone, I probably wouldn't have worked it out myself. So these are both amazonite. One, as you can see, is lovely turquoise, pale turquoise with like a little black speck, and tumbled. And then this rough stone is like almost a lime, yellowy green color. So that's the amazonite. And then I have this one is I'm not sure exactly how to say this, Shungite, or yeah, Shungite. It's a kind of jasper. Lovely kind of fiery coloration through it. And the only thing then that's left in here that I haven't shown you are these, which I have sort of mixed feelings about. So this is highlight, but it's dyed. So blue highlight, sold in the shop as blue highlight, but then when I got home I found that blue highlight doesn't exist. So it's just highlight, which is like a grey white stone that has been dyed. And then these 3 are kind of a glass, I think. So this was sold as cherry quartz, and this was sold as blue quartz, which on a bit of research online, again, cherry quartz and blue quartz don't exist, so they're like a man-made stone. So I'm not sure if they're a glass or some other kind of stone that's been dyed. And this, I can't remember what this was called. It's a really pearlescent sheen to it, but I think it's a man-made stone. So I haven't really done anything with those particular stones. I think discovering that they were man-made sort of put me off using them, but I haven't got rid of them or anything either. So if you have any of those, particularly those man-made stones, actually, I'd be interested to hear people's opinions about those, if you have those or have used something like that. If you'd like more content about crystals, I'm not sure if I'm the person, but I certainly am really interested in crystals and learning more about them all the time. So if you would like to hear more about how I work with crystals, then I would love to hear that below. And if you can recommend for anybody watching this video any great resources or any really good YouTubers who are experts on crystals that you can share below in the comments, that would be fantastic too. So thank you very much for watching, and please subscribe if you'd like to see more content from me. Okay, bye bye.